New Actman video drop. Why was Yu-Gi-Oh so awesome, and what happened to it? Let's hop right into it.
These Yu-Gi-Oh duels erupted into chaos, as nobody could agree what the rules were. Until a great and powerful sixth-player collection, imprisoning it within the 9 Millennium Shoeboxes. Now, 5,000 years later, a boy named...
What is this? Is this clay?
The shoeboxes and rediscovered the lost card game of his childhood. Time to discuss my favorite trading card game. Harry Potter. I summon
Harry Potter has a trading card game? I will normal summon Gandalf.
I can't deny that Yu-Gi-Oh is both the dumbest and coolest card game ever made.
No, it's just the dumbest. This card game is actually terrible.
Nah. As the president of a major corporation, I have to do that every day.
Thug Life, 8-bit sunglasses, joint.png. Someone who's got like a 4x3 monitor probably has something like this on as a wallpaper.
You know a game's complex when the characters spend half of every episode explaining what their cards do and making up rules as they go along.
Then I'll activate my pot of greed!
Pot of greed? Oh my god, we're already starting off with a fucking pot of greed joke. I hate this. Maybe Dyer did edit this because the jokes are fucking terrible.
Pot of greed!
You get it?
It allows me to
get
draw
it? The oldest fucking joke in the book.
You don't have to keep explaining
two more
this card. Because of its absurd complexity, there are countless methods to pull some sick combo.
People will like look at this chart and treat it like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is over. Dog, it is literally just, do you have a response? No, I can respond. Do you have a response? No, I have a response. We're done responding? We're done. That's it. That's all this fucking graph means. It's not that fucking hard.
Activate. 3 blasting the ruin.
No playmat, by the way.
The two run amok within society by challenging people of questionable morals to a game of chance, and then if they lose, killing them.
Holy shit. When you think about it, Yugi was kind of just like Doctor Strange, but like a child. Don't look too deep into that analogy.
Sex, titties, removing.
I mean, I don't think this is much of a difference. I really don't think just removing a bra strap is like that much different.
Why?
Some of the things were very obscure that they would.
Why are you in this? You don't even play this game. You fucking notoriously hate this game. You burned like every possible bridge ever. Name one thing Sladra did within the past 5 years in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh. Nothing. That was the correct answer. Literally nothing. Called me a slur.
It would censor like midriff, stuff like that. It's just, it's interesting because
holy shit, her titties are just out.
And in America, we didn't even get season 0, probably because the series at this point had very little to do with dual monsters, and instead focused on ironic.
The bomb location? Holy shit, I didn't know I was in this show. Those who manhandle my precious Anzu will suffer. You can just like me for real. I too would light someone on fire if someone manhandled Rosalind.
And if you lose,
looks like you're going to the shadow.
Oh my god, this fucking meme. I hate this meme so fucking much. I've seen it so many times in response to like fucking shitty Twitter threads.
Did you know there was a series called 5Ds where the main characters all dueled while riding motorcycles?
Yeah, but that was sick.
Yes, like this was real.
Card games on motorcycles.
Card games on motorcycles!
Also, I fucking hate this meme too. Haha, card games on motorcycles. Haha, isn't that funny, chat? Haha.
Monsters are the main form of attack and defense.
My favorite form of defense is Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is my favorite form of defense. What about you guys?
You've activated my
Team
trap
APS
card,
isn't
right?
this?
Like, you don't just get to like, do your turn and then freeze and like nothing else happens. It's like, you know, you've activated my trap. I use this. I use that. You know, you thought type of.
I'm trying to remember this one card game. Turns were dynamic and interactive on both players' turns. Trying to remember what it's called. Oh yeah, it's called fucking Magic the Gathering. People have been doing this shit for years. Don't act like Yu-Gi-Oh is like the only game to have responses. Damn, no, trap cards are what makes Yu-Gi-Oh fucking crazy. Yeah, it's called fucking Force of Will.
Building a deck of 40 or more cards.
What the fuck? That's not a real deck. But what the fuck is this deck? Oh my god, I think I hate this. Spellbook of Knowledge? What are you searching with Spellbook of Knowledge? Let me read this fucking card. Let me read this fucking card real quick. Am I on drugs? Oh, so you're just supposed to fucking send your Exodia piece and draw 2? Is that what we were supposed to do, Konami? Whoever made this deck list, fuck you. I just fucking hate you.
What sorts of mechanics can we build around that? Too many mechanics is the answer.
If he starts complaining about pendulum summoning, I'm gonna lose it.
I have a confession to make, and I think I owe you all some honesty.
I have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Holy shit.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh never stopped being cool.
That is the biggest lie you could ever tell yourself. This is the guy who talks about Yu-Gi-Oh on live stream? No, I talk about Bloons. I talk about Bloons Tower Defense. Don't worry about it. Actual He's dead!
This wasn't a game of cute little animals smacking each other. No, bitch, you think Summon Skull is gonna show you mercy?
Here's what I've got. The mighty Summoned Skull!
Oh my god, real? Is this what my editing is like? Chat, is that like what watching my editing is like? Just a fucking random superimposed fucking meme on a Summoned Skull just out of fucking nowhere. This is what watching my videos is like. Maybe I'm never gonna edit a video ever again.
They wanted to play as Pegasus and summon Relinquished and all his wacky toon monsters. That's not to say every card was a slapper in the art department. I mean, Griggle.
Griggle was probably a slur at some point in human history.
And my personal favorite, Bat. Yeah, just Bat.
Bat!
A lot of monsters released very early on are pretty gross to look at, but in some ways I felt that like disgusting, kind of spooky, scary look fit the dark theme of the story's plot.
Are we gonna start complaining about the
Initially,
art and he's just gonna show like a fucking dragon
wasn't
man?
rocket science, but apparently that's what it's turned into.
Rocket science? More like rocket science, am I right? Well, let's fucking go.
Expected. If you tried coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh after taking an 18-year break, you got no chance.
What is that?
Oh my god, this fucking joke. It's not that complicated. Oh my fucking god. You're a grown-ass man. Read the fucking card.
Well,
if I see an Endymion joke, I'm gonna
spin.
fucking lose it.
How did this simple game of strategy turn into a fucking Einstein
Oh
project?
my god, dude, shut up. Endymion is not that hard. Just summons itself and negates. If I could fucking learn what Endymion does in like 10 seconds, fucking like any fucking child can. Okay, we don't talk about Small World though.
It's impossible to properly balance over 12,000 different cards.
It's okay, most of them are shit.
You just sort of like dump someone into 2022 Yu-Gi-Oh and you just say, here, take this starter deck or structure deck and like go to locals and figure it out. It's like hell on earth. Like, I mean, you know, there's so many things, so many nitpicky rulings, so many crazy decks that will just overwhelm you. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really have a format that is,
new user friendly?
Yeah, new user friendly, yeah.
Point is,
What the hell is Speed Duels? Speed Duels is like as new user friendly as you could fucking get.
Yu-Gi-Oh was always flawed. And I loved it regardless. The nice thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is any complaints I have with the game aren't really that important. Just because Konami releases a set of cards that I think are really busted or stupid or I don't want to be fucked to read them, well, that doesn't change how me and my buddies play the game. You know, I'll be like, hey Roman, can you not play with any pendulum cards? Thank you.
Dog, pendulum jokes. Dude, people will look at a card that has more than like one sentence of text and their eyes will fucking roll into the back of their head.
With that being said, holy fuck, the game mechanics have been power crept. Yu-Gi-Oh has gone up to 11 so hard I don't even know where to start with this.
Would you say the power creep is kind of evened out now?
What drew me to Yu-Gi-Oh was the creativity and like I like playing it.
Oh my god, is Slayer gonna complain about fucking deck building? Is Slayer gonna be like, ugh, deck building is so unoriginal now, ugh.
He makes this card, what can I do to deal with this? But now modern Yu-Gi-Oh is you make enough cards that say this card negates and destroys my opponent's effect. You make 6 of those and it doesn't matter. Like, you could be the—
My brother in Christ, have you heard of a card called Dark Ruler no more? That is not how this shit works. Free G-Hopper 85. My god, dude. Oh no.
Negates and destroys my opponent's effect. You make 6 of those and it doesn't matter. Like, you could be the best player in the world. It doesn't matter how good you are. You cannot outplay certain mechanics of the game.
Is he still complaining about Yu-Gi-Oh takes no skill? Dog, it's been like 8 years since that fucking argument dropped. Go play fucking Diablo on stream for like the 80th time. Like, my god, no one cares.
Doesn't matter, you can take the worst player, give him that one Yu-Gi-Oh card, and like even if he's brand new to the game, he can activate that and it's game over.
Okay, but hear me out. There's this one Blunder player out of YCS who opened pretty good one game, but he couldn't beat a 2300 vanilla. I think that things are a bit more nuanced than Slager might think.
How do we sell new cards? Just make them better than the old ones. It's the same problem MMORPGs have, where a new expansion has to increase the power level somehow, otherwise why buy it?
This goes back to the fact that this game is exceptionally old, and when you have a game that is running for 15, 20 years plus, how do you sell your new product? Well, I mean, you have to make and create new cards that are enticing and interesting for people to want to play. Well, naturally, if there's no end point where you just keep making slightly more powerful cards, 5 more iterations of Raigeki, you're just going to end up with these ridiculously overpowered cards that just trump them in every way possible.
Looking back at Pokemon and from what I know of Magic the Gathering, the amount of things you can do in a turn is limited by resources. Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't like this.
I will now initiate a pendulum summon!
I fucking hate this video. I just fucking hate this video. Like, on a spiritual level. Like, when I saw it for the first time, I felt something die inside of me.
Pendulum? I will now place 2 monsters in my pendulum zone, and I can summon 5 monsters.
That's not even legal! That's not even fucking legal! It's a 1-8! Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking scream. If you're gonna make fun of the game, at least fucking learn the mechanic. What the fuck? Oh my god, did they actually use that fucking sound effect?
And they all have effects that negate other effects, so your opponent is basically locked out of playing, which is...
Hey! Didn't you mention that that interaction on your opponent's turn is good? Like with trap cards that you mentioned earlier? What's the difference between bottomless trap holing a vanilla versus using Baron de Fleur to negate my normal summon? What's the difference? Same shit, different era. Bottomless trap is better because you can't negate it. Baron can't negate the normal summon. It's better.
This is why everybody hated the Yada lock, because it just locked you out from playing the game. That's not fun.
Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten to the point literally where your whole goal turn 1 is literally to make it so your opponent cannot Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's a very interesting design decision.
Theoretically, that's the goal of literally every game. Your goal in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to win. What's the goal of Valorant? To fucking shoot your opponents. You're supposed to kill them. What's the point of chess? To take your opponent's pieces so that you limit their fucking options and resources.
Can't play my deck. I can't go into my extra deck. If I try and play with just my cards in my hand, you just negate them. And I just sat here for 10-15 minutes waiting for you to just set that up.
Stuff like this is only relevant in extremely high power formats. And for the most part, most formats are not extremely high power. They are combo centric, but most formats are not floodgate centric. There's only been like very few formats where floodgate decks have been tier 1. Like specifically, I think the only 3 formats like of the past 5 years that I can remember being designed to like floodgate you is like Virtual World format, Rungo Miniad format, and like that's it. Like what else? Mystic Mind format. That's this format.
Alright, so I'm gonna sacrifice the Legendary Fisherman to summon the Legendary Fisherman number 3.
That wasn't legal!
Which banishes all of your monsters.
That wasn't fucking legal!
It banishes all of them? Okay, so then I'm gonna activate Mirror Force since you attack and destroy it. He can't be destroyed by spells or traps.
What?
Alrighty then, I special summon Blue Eyes to attack your Legendary Fisherman. He can't be destroyed by battle. So then I use Compulsory Evacuation Device to return him to your hand. He is unaffected by all spells and traps. Okay, so I'm gonna punch you in the mouth, and then I'm gonna flip this table over.
Is he trying to say that Legendary Fisherman is what's wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh? I can understand, like, just looking at a card and seeing, like, forms of protection. Like, it's very annoying to be like, oh, so I can't Compulse it. Like, I can't Mirror Force it. I can't, whatever. To, like, a new player, that is extremely frustrating. But at the same time, like most of these cards are bad. The number one example of people thinking, like, more effects equals good, but it turns out to not be, is, like, fucking Dragoon. Like, just because a card has, like, a shit ton of text on it doesn't necessarily mean the card is good, because, like, there are 10 billion outs to it, or the card just requires too much effort.
I love coming up with new strats and playstyles. What sucks about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is having to understand all those strats and playstyles. One of my favorite decks is called Bad Reaction to Samochi.
Your fucking idea of a fun deck is an FTK deck? Complains about Yu-Gi-Oh! Being uninteractive. My favorite deck is FTK! Oh my god, dude. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go apeshit. What is happening?
I had a monster that couldn't be targeted by other monster effects. And in my mind, that meant, okay, you can't single this guy out, Legendary Fisherman number 2. How naive I was to think it would be that simple. If you select a monster with an effect, but your effect doesn't include the word target, then it's not technically targeting and the effect still goes through.
Yeah!
What fucking sense does that make?
It makes complete sense! That's cool! That's fucking cool. That's epic. That's like one of the coolest things about Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, oh, it doesn't include it, so it doesn't fucking target. Yeah, no fucking shit.
I think too often duels with newer cards just turn into like debates and science projects. Or it's a fucking reading lesson. It's not fun.
I very much like how this whole argument boiled down to I don't like reading.
The two effects BLS has can't be activated on the same turn.
You still have to know what they fucking do. You still have to know what the effects are. That doesn't mean you just fucking close your eyes and don't pick the— oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fucking go insane on mode.
What I call the first novel card, but now in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, that's like every single card. For some reason,
this isn't even fucking real. This is not a real fucking card. This is a custom card.
Basically, traps you activate from the hand, and that's the thing. Hand trap. That doesn't even make sense.
It's fucking force of will.
A trap before you activate. That's why you had to put it down and you couldn't activate it at the same turn. You were laying a trap. You want to talk about card text? Take a look at this asshole. Endy Mayon, the mighty master of magic.
Oh my god, it's not that complicated. It has one effect.
Not many card games stay relevant without innovation. Wait, what? Dude, new Solitaire just dropped? Holy shit! Whatever painful choices Konami had to—
Okay, I kinda like that joke. That was a good joke.
Well, it's kept the game alive. And I'd rather people be able to play and enjoy new Yu-Gi-Oh! Than not at all. Because I can still play with the cool cards. However, the more Yu-Gi-Oh! Drifted away from its ancient Egyptian roots, the stupider the game and the anime started to feel.
Motherfucker, GX was literally the series after fucking Duel Monsters. It was literally the next fucking show.
What the fuck happened to Yu-Gi-Oh's simplicity? It's like every new card that comes out is part of some kind of, what is it, archetype? Hey kids, would you rather play the deck—
oh my god, is he gonna complain about fucking archetypes? Is he gonna spend 7 fucking minutes complaining about fucking Therions?
with the giant sea serpents, freaky fishmen, and hot mermaids? Or a deck that's based on French and Italian desserts or—
let's fucking go! Now this is an archetype I support. I am going to fucking eat you. How dare you say Madolce isn't based? What a sick ass archetype.
We went from menacing insects and hordes of zombies to cars?
Yeah, Decoyroid! Yo, this guy kind of looks like Mickey Mouse.
Look at this one, Parapsychroid. It's a fucking bicycle.
That's hilarious! That's so funny! Oh my god, some motherfuckers have no sense of humor.
How about this one, Dan Mari?
This is the dude who made like this is the guy who like wrote that tweet like a couple months ago about like Nutbuster Dragon at like 4,000 cum points. This is the same guy.
Make cards to support Blue Eyes and Red Eyes Dark Magician decks and some other classics. I think all that stuff's really cool. But what I really hate about archetypes is how it makes opening packs far less thrilling and exciting. Remember this, the simpler the card, the easier it is to fit into most decks. Sangan or Witch of the Black Forest. Reinforcement of the army is clearly meant to be used alongside Marauding Captain, but it doesn't have to be. But nowadays when you open a pack and you see like each card has to work in a separate archetype, it just takes the fun out of it, because most cards in an archetype can't be used outside of that deck.
So you're telling me that Ojama Yellow and Chaos Emperor Envoy of the End are designed to be played in the same deck? Light. Shut the fuck up.
So there's no creativity involved. You either play the deck the card is made for, or you don't play the card at all. No, you can't just put this into your current deck. You have to build a whole new deck with 39 cards that are exactly like this one.
How it works.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very complex game, with a long and complex history. It truly is the coolest and dumbest card game ever made. I love it to death, and likely always will. Sure, I can complain, bitch, and moan about ridiculous mechanics, dumb archetypes, and excessive card text, but at the end of the day, had I never played Yu-Gi-Oh!, my childhood would have been way worse. I can always play the version of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I knew and loved, and I don't have to play with the new shit I don't like. I'll always be there, ready to Doro!
Of course you had to fucking include that clip at the end. God fucking damn it. I fucking hated this video. I think that there were a lot of valid concerns within the video, but overall I think that a lot of his arguments were very much just like, I don't like this, and flawed logic.jpg.